That's right, Sean. They've been training quite hard. All of them had a long way to travel to actually get together from the north of Tasmania and the south of Tasmania coming together. So they've put a lot of work in to get to this place right now. So really looking forward to today's game and tomorrow. So we're about to kick off and South Australia have the ball.
We are right amongst the crowd here. It's hopefully you can hear us above everybody else.
The ball's gone 10 and it's a great catch. Nice. Tasmania team going across. Just gone past the 10-metre line. South Australia just won the ball back. Oh, brave tackle there on a big bloke. Well done, Tom. That was a fantastic tackle. Okay. Okay. And South Australia making a big break there.
Some good ball security by South Australia, putting some rucks together, which is great continuity for them.
Another great tackle by Tom Wilkinson. Oh, missed. Tackling really important today. We've got to really tackle well. Oh, it's a penalty to South Australia. Let's see what they're going to do.
I think that was for hands in the ruck. Tassie team putting their hands in the ruck, trying to turn that ball over. Quick tap, and
South
they're on the run.
And Tasmania was late in going up against there. It's a big guy to tackle. They've got him down. South Australia still going forward here. Oh, you've got a tackle. Well done. So just shoved him into touch there.
No advantage from the kick. I think there was some more side there by Tassie, so they're going to get another penalty and have a feeling they might have another quick tap, and they do, and they're back on the run.
Oh dear.
They've really attacked well in the last few phases have been good for them. I think the Tasmanian team probably found themselves out a bit. You can see they're quite bunched around that ruck, which is not going to help them.
Okay, that's an early try for South Australia. 5 points, that's halfway between the posts and the touchline, so yeah, well, unfortunately, we don't have a team list for South Australia at the moment, so I can't tell you who scored that try.
We do know that it is looks like number 1, so we're not too sure number 1 is, but it looks like it's number 1 for South Australia who scored that try.
That was a good try. So he's got a relatively easy conversion here with no wind. So number 6 for South Australia, just stepping up, doing his routine. Oh, he just pulled that to the left. Bad luck. That's still 5 points to nothing.
Bit of a breeze from right to left of the screen here, so whether that comes into play or not, we'll see as the game goes on, and we are expecting the wind to pick up as the evening goes on this evening, so that might come into play a bit later on and might help Tassie in the second half. But it's Tassie to kick off. It's 5-0 to South Australia, and we'll see if Tassie can make their way down and find some space down in the South Australian half.
Okay, so Hamish Grant has the ball. He's about to do a drop kick restart. It's gone 10. It was in space, but South Australia's taken it really well. They've got a great catch there, and they're passing the ball out. Well, the ball slipped. Actually, handling has been really good today, considering how slippy the ball should be. Okay, Tasmania's got the ball, going forward. I think they're up to the 22. was a big hit there. But Tasmania managed to retain the ball. They're getting pushed backwards at the moment, though. They need to get that ball out. Okay, so Hamish Grant just had a run there. He's got the ball back, presented back well. So Tasmania still going forward. Tasmania still holding on to the ball. Good tackling from South Australia. And South Australia's just taken the ball. I think that was a knock on there.
Scott, I think some good continuity by Tassie there. You know, they got some phases together, really worked hard at trying to keep that ball and keep going forward. I think maybe just using a bit more width might help them against these South Australian side. I think they're a bit bunched around the edges.
You're absolutely right, Sean. They do need to spread it wide. They've got some good, fast players, Tasmania, and they're not getting the ball out to them at the moment. Still, it's early days yet. Anyway, here we go. We've got scrum, Tasmanian ball. I'm not sure if you can hear all the rabble around. We've got lots of players and supporters all around us here. Okay, need to get that ball back quickly. Just holding the scrum well. A drive forward, get the ball back. Okay, they're playing an advantage to Tasmania at the moment. It's a penalty advantage, I think. Yep, that's a penalty to Tasmania. So that's right, almost in the centre there. Okay. Okay, get the ball back. Okay, Tasmania still going forward. Need to get the ball out. They're running right into the forwards at the moment. And South Australia's tackling's really good. Okay, Tasmania's still driving. Looks like they've got the ball out. Oh, that was a nice move there. He just... Hard to see what's going on the touchline over there, but it's a penalty to Tasmania. I'm not sure why, what happened there. Did you see that, Sean?
No, I didn't quite see a signal, but they're off again. Quick tap. I think that's going to be possibly with the conditions that we have. It might be something we're going to see a lot of today, the quick tap and keeping that ball going. Just bringing it back a little bit, I think coming back to that scrum, it was really good. I know down in Tassie we don't have contested scrums for our 14s and 16s at the moment because we don't quite have enough front rowers around. But it was really good to see some contested scrums there. The boys getting a good feeling of what it feels like at scrum time, which is great. And we've got another scrum now, 5 metres out in the attack, and we'll see what Tassie can do.
So Tasmania have a good line out. Oh, we're just losing the scrum there. South Australia obviously very strong. They're pushing the scrum well.
For those that don't know about scrum time with under 18s, is you can only push the scrum 1.5 metres. So once it goes 1.5 metres, the referee will say that you need to hold and then allow that ball to come out.
Big shot.
Okay, Tasmania just got the ball out. Oh dear. They managed to hold on to it. It's very slippy. Need to go forward. Oh.
Yes.
South Australia just ripped the ball there, and they've got possession.
Go.
Oh, he just knocked it on there. So knock on with South Australia. Scrum down, Tasmania ball. Tasmania were quite lucky to get away with that there.
South Australia's defence has really been very dominant. I think they've making their one-on-one tackles. They're really putting a lot of power and strength into their tackles, which is a really good area for them. And I think that this is going to be a tough defence for Tassie to break.
Yep. However, we are in their half, almost on the 22 line with the scrum. And if they can just get the ball out. Oh, no. Not sure what happened there. You can see one of the players shaking his hands there. It's quite cold. I don't know if you can see up on the hill. There's a lot of snow on the hill on Kananye. And so the kids who are standing around the backs there will be getting quite cold while they're inactive. That makes it very difficult to catch the ball when your hands are cold.
Good shove, good shove.
There's good shove from
Good
South
shove.
Australia. I think Tasmania is going to get the ball. Okay. So Hamish Grant making a run for it. He needs to go. And I think he's laid the ball back. Oh, South Australia, did they regain it? Let's play on.
Leave the ruck, spread out. Oh, we got it.
Oh, South Australia got it. Good tackle there.
Take it in.
Another good tackle, well played.
Shift it.
Oh, and it's a penalty to Tasmania.
Not released at the breakdown was the call from Craig Gardner.
Well done, Levi.
Looks to be held up over the line at the moment. We'll see if that ball can come out.
Yeah, so Hamish had a bit of a run there. Oh, it's another penalty to Tasmania. Not sure what that was.
Let's get up. It works. Well, that's it.
Tasmania's going a bit sideways there. They need to go a bit more direct.
Yeah.
Oh, and they've lost the penalty. It's South Australia
All right, let's
penalty.
get out of there. Exit. Macca,
Tasmania
get out.
were pinned for going off their feet at the breakdown, trying to seal that off. And I think that's an area that South Australia have been really good at as well. Not only their defence, but also their breakdown. They've been very quick over that ball and got some very good structure in that breakdown. So that's a credit to their coaches.
And South Australia managed to find touch there, so because it was their penalty, they have the put in the line out, but they haven't made that much ground. And they're right back in their 22 at the moment. That's a great pass and well taken. Oh, he's dropped it. And he's regained it, but it should be a knock-on to Tasmania, so it's a scrum put in for Tasmania. We've still got, Tasmania's got possession. We're almost on the 22-metre line.
A few substitutions coming on for Tassie at the moment. So I think that is number 22, Will Brocklehurst coming onto the field. And I think it's number 3, it might be, which says there's Charlie
I can't see who's
Menzies.
Okay, so
You know where it's coming, Sam? Break.
You know where he's going.
for the viewers back home, it's quite difficult for us commentators to see. We don't have the best angle. And we don't have a big zoom lens to see what's going on the other side of the park. So, however, it is a scrum on the 22-metre line, and it's Tasmanian ball.
Well done, Charlie.
So Charlie Menzies is making a big drive. He needs to have someone going with them. South Australia's putting up good defence. Tasmania's still driving forward. ball out.
Legs, legs!
I think Hamish Grant just got a pop and he ran through and scored under the post, so that's going to make it 5 points apiece.
With a kick to come.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think my apologies there. Looks like Tom Allomes and Charlie Menzies may have swapped jerseys. So I think I was talking earlier about Charlie Menzies being in number 17. It's actually Tom Allomes in number 17 and Charlie Menzies is in number 3. Sorry, other way around. Charlie Menzies is in number 17 and Tom Allomes is in number 3.
Okay, now I think it's Dexter's going to take the kick. And he's just doing his routine. And that looks nicely through the post. Well done. So that's 7 points to Tasmania, 5 points to South Australia. So Tasmania's had quite a lot of the advantage in territory, in the South Australia territory. South Australia looking really strong. Their tackling's looking really good.
Go, come on! Go, SA! That's it! Let's go, fuck you!
Well, okay, so South Australia ball, they're getting it out the line. South Australia's still got possession here. They're going to bring it out left. Good tackle there. There's a suspected knock on there by South Australia.
Let's go, hands
So
up,
it is a scrum to Tasmania.
A few more changes coming on now. Tasmania making some rotations.
So that is Andre Lobser coming on at centre, and I think that's Dexter coming on at centre, and I can't quite make him out.
Yeah, looks like Dexter might be number 18.
Yeah.
And Andre, I think that was number 21 that came on.
Get around him!
Okay, South Australia making a good drive here. They've got the ball out the line. Oh, I think that's a knock on. Oh, it's a penalty.
Yeah, that's a sling tackle, so swinging the person around by the jersey is the reason for that.
Hit it up!
Okay, so number 9 South Australia is ready to take a quick tap, and he's got the ball out. I think there was a knock on there by South Australia. I think their hands are probably very cold.
Yeah, not for easy conditions. Obviously, it's wet. It's nice that the wind isn't howling. We're expecting that wind, as I said, later on, but it is quite cold, and I think the wet conditions with the cold, the hands is not making it too easy. We see another change coming on. Aaron Vigisi is coming on. Not sure who he's replacing.
And again, James!
Someone's coming off. Is that Tom Overton coming off? No. Yeah, that's Tom Overton's come off. I'm not sure.
Yes. Go, Charlie.
Uh-oh, come on, tackle him. It's taken a lot. That big South Australian guy took a lot of players to take him down. Okay, I think Tasmania were lucky there that South Australia knocked on.
I think both teams are playing pretty narrow at the moment. I know the conditions don't allow too much wide running rugby, but I think both teams are pretty narrow on defence and attack, and using a bit more space would be good for both.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. It's all forwards at the moment, and they seem to be running into each other at the moment, so they need to get the ball wide if they want to see, I think, some more points scored here. So Tasmania on their own 22-metre line. It's their put in. Ball's out. I think that's Dexter running across there. Needs to get the ball out. I'm not sure, is that Frank Sterry? Who's that? Tasmania still holding on to the ball. Oh, he's held on to it, I think. I think he held on to it in the tackle and he's been penalised for holding onto it. So South Australia penalty. Let's see what they're going to do. Whether they're going to kick for touch. They're kicking for touch.
First line out of the game. Second, sorry.
Yeah,
second line of the game.
Second.
So one defensive liner up there for South Australia and now one down here. So we'll see whether they decide to, you know, come down and feed that out to the backs, or they're going to bring that down and keep it in the forwards and have a rolling maul.
So it was a penalty, and it was the South Australia penalty. They've kicked out. It's their put in. And they're throwing it in now. And they've taken a short one, and they're down the blind side there. And they've regained the ball.
Bit of advantage there by referee Craig Gardner. I had a feeling it might be for offsides. Good width being used here. Much better width by South Australia.
I think he knocked it on there. Oh, it's a penalty back to South Australia. Right in front of the post. It's a penalty. Oh, he's taking the quick one. Tasmania didn't look like they were ready. I think he dropped it. I thought it looked like he dropped it and knocked it on, but referee says no. South Australia's picked it up and scored a try. Did you see that, Sean?
Yeah, I know the captain went over to have a chat with him. I think what he's ruled there is potentially it's gone backwards. You know, gone backwards off the South Australian player, and therefore it's play on.
Fair enough. Okay, so
a good choice. Good choice probably to have that tap and go. I was a bit concerned. I thought they might have rather gone for pace and taken the 3 and put themselves, 1 point ahead. But a good decision to tap and go, and that adds another 5 to the scoreboard and potentially 7.
You're right, Sean. I think it caught Tasmania napping there. They weren't really prepared for that quick one. Now the South Australian number 6 is going up to try and kick the conversion here. And he looked like he pulled it, but it's gone through. So that should be 12-7 to South Australia. Just one try, the difference so far. I'm not sure how long to go.
Ball in hand, SA. Ball in hand, Falcons.
I think it's 25 minutes each way, or is it 30 minutes each way?
25 as far as I'm aware for under 14s, 30 for the under 16s, and 35 for the 18s tomorrow.
Okay, so we're getting very close to half time here. That was really good play by South Australia to get ahead just before half time. So Tasmania have the ball. They're going to do the drop kick restart. And Dexter's gone long, but South Australia's taken it easily. Great catch, and he's running back. Needs to put him down. Well done, Andre Lobser. Got a great tackle in there. The ball's available, and Tasmania didn't seem to want it. South Australia did, and they took it. It's been kicked forwards. Tasmania's got the ball out.
Looks like a good high run by, I think it's Josh Tonga.
Yeah, nice. Could do with a bit of support. The backs need to get a bit deeper. Tasmania's running back into trouble at the moment. They need to get the ball out wider, I think. So Tasmania's got the ball here. And we need to help him.
Yes, well done, Charlie!
Yep. Well done, Charlie!
No, South Australia did very well there.
Yeah, South Australia have been really good at the breakdown in this game. That's definitely something that they've obviously worked a lot at.
Okay,
And in these conditions, it's definitely going to pay
Someone needs
off.
to tackle him. I think that was a great tackle. Somebody shouted on the other side it was high, but it was a great tackle.
Get with him!
Hold it inside.
And I think Tasmania put them into touch, so it's going to be a line out on the halfway line.
As the rain comes down.
And I'm not sure what the visibility is like for you at home, but the rain is coming down now. No, it's a knock on in the line out there, so Tasmania knocked on, so it's
That's half time.
half time, indeed.
Scott, I think just a bit of a recap and a bit of a chat about the first half. If we have a look at it in review, I think both teams obviously, every intention to run the ball and keep the ball in hand. As we both said, maybe find a bit more space and use a bit more width to be good for both teams. But I think South Australia have got the dominance and defensively, and I think at the breakdown they're looking really good. So we might have to find, if both teams can use more space, they might catch the opposition unaware.
Absolutely right, Sean. That's how I see it as well. I think the viewers at home have probably seen that particularly Tasmania seem to be running close in to where the breakdown is and running back into trouble, and they're not getting the ball out, and they've got some very fast backs and they don't seem to be using them. However, as just Sean said, the conditions are very poor now and they're getting a bit worse, so it's not easy for them to get the ball out and hold on to it. I think the wind is coming in such a way that Tasmania are going to have the wind behind them, so we might see a couple of kicks for down the field here.
Scott, I think South Australia, they've got some good size forwards trucking the ball up, which is good, and I think that's really good for getting some good go forward. I feel that they've tried to use that ball a bit wider, but I think their handling's let them down a little bit. So whether they're not quite used to the conditions, the wet weather, that might come into play. But I think there've been a few loose passes there and a few knock-ons, which has probably been the difference in them scoring tries and not scoring tries.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sean. Yeah, they've looked probably the more cohesive team at the moment, and those last-minute passes have just let them down, because otherwise I think we could have seen a much higher score. So Tasmania are quite fortunate that way, and South Australia obviously lucky a bit. Weather is deteriorating even further right now. The wind is getting really, really quite strong, and this is going to be quite a hard test for the under-14s in the second half. And straight after this game we've got the under-16s, so they're going to be up against it, I think.
Scott, I think we might just take a break and come back when they resume.
Great idea,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Let's just give everyone a rest at home.
Rather be anywhere else in the world.
Okay, I think that's us back on live, and Tasmania's got the ball, playing with the wind, and it's 12 to South Australia, it's 7 to Tasmania. That's a nice big deep kick, but once again taken by the South Australia number 5. Need to put him out. Can Hamish Grant catch him? Hamish Grant's just put him into touch, I think. Otherwise, that big number 5, he took that ball so well and had a tremendous speedy run down the wing there. If Hamish hadn't taken him, that was going to be a certain try. It's Tasmania put in, Tom Wilkinson throwing in. Tasmania took it, and unfortunately I don't think that was straight. I suspect that's going to be a South Australia ball. Well, it's actually a free kick, and it's free kick to South Australia, and they're almost up to the 22-metre line of Tasmania, so advantage South Australia here. They've got a big number 3. He's a huge guy. He's going to be very difficult to bring down. South Australia still got the ball. There's that number 5 who's very, very strong, and no one's going to put him down.
Yeah.
I think.
It's got a really good break. I think that led to that try initially. That run up the right hand side of the field. Obviously, got them some good momentum. I think they, again they showed they're pretty good at that breakdown, and now just using the width all the way to the edge of the field has definitely given them some reward.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. That was a great take by the number 5. He caught that ball, had a great first run, was put into touch, and then they gave him the ball again, and he had another go and scored a try. So very hard to put down some of those guys, and Tasmania really need to put the tackles in. That's 17-7 to South Australia, and they're about to take the kick, but
it's going to be an interesting kick. It's almost up. It's about 5 metres in from touch. The wind's coming from his right hand side, and it's going to have a fair bit of turn on it, I think. So he's probably looking to aim it, I reckon, good distance outside the right hand upright.
Oh, I think the ball just fell over. This would be amazing if the number 5 who scored the try is going to try and convert his own try. Wind conditions very difficult. The ball's not easy to place. He's had a good go at it. Oh, I think he had the length. It just pushed slightly to the right there.
He definitely struck it very well. Unfortunately, I think it just held up a little bit. But no, a good strike, and it is a long distance. For these youngsters, this is a full-size field. Not only for a full-size field, obviously for youngsters, but it's a men's field, so it is quite wide. And kicking from that far touchline is very difficult. So very good effort.
Okay, so the score remains. Is that 17-7? Yeah, 17-7 to South Australia. Tasmania about to kick off. They've got the wind with them. They've gone very, very deep, and the ball's number 10's got the ball for South Australia. He's running back. Oh, bumped off the tackle there. And South Australia's kicked the ball. Well taken by Frank Sterry. Well played. Go down, present the ball. I think Frank held on to the ball too long there, and it's a penalty to South Australia. That was bad luck, because that was a great take by Frank and a great run.
Very good nudge into the wind. That's kicking straight into the wind there. So it made some good meters on that.
Yep, so he had a penalty, kicked into touch, and so it's still South Australia ball. So it's their line out on the 10-metre line inside the Tasmania half.
So South Australia's ball a pretty good attacking opportunity. Hopefully they can use their space and get that ball out. They've got a fair bit of space out there, and we'll see what they can do.
Taking the ball well. Oh,
not straight to the line out. So it was a very good line out. Unfortunately, it wasn't straight, but it would have given them some really good reward. We'll see what Tassie choose. Tassie have chosen the line out, and we'll see how they go.
Yeah, so with the wind blowing, they've still taken the line out, so they're confident that they can throw it straight. Very difficult. For the viewers at home, I'm not sure if you can see, but the conditions are quite difficult at the moment. It's strong rain, wind. It maybe doesn't come out in the picture, but and it's quite cold. Not like Scottish standards, but it's still. Oh. No, that ball wasn't straight line out, and so unfortunately Tasmania's given the ball back to South Australia, and they've chosen to take a scrum, and they know that their scrum's pretty strong. And Tasmania had a changeover. We've got some new players in, some kids coming off, perhaps not happy about coming off. hopefully they can get a chance to warm up a wee bit, maybe get back on the pitch later.
South Australia's scrum has been very good, so I've got no doubt they'll set a good platform here. And again, a good attacking position that, you know, Tassie got their full back, and they probably give them a fair bit of space.
Okay, and he's gone up the blind side, the South Australia scrum half. They've managed to retain the ball. Play on. Number 5, that big number 5 is taking the ball again. He's tackled this time.
Put your hand up.
Who is it?
South Australia's got the ball out again. Tasmania needs to put them down.
Don't pass it, don't pass it.
Down.
So Tasmania took the ball there. Great take. Tasmania have possession. And well tackled by South Australia once again. And I think
There was a knock on there by Tassie, and there was 2 knocks. The first knock was by South Australia, then Tassie got the ball regained and just knocked it on themselves. So it's a scrum down for Tas. And I dare say that they might kick it as far as they can and get out of their own half.
I think that would be the sensible thing, Sean. If they've got someone there who can do that, they should be able to kick it right down. If you can see, there's no one really way back for South Australia. If someone can kick this really deep, they'll get a lot of territory here.
But first they need to win the scrum. And South Australia have had a very dominant scrum, so we'll see if Tassie can win that scrum, if they win that scrum, and see what they can do with that ball.
No, South Australia won the ball there. I think he knocked it on there. The referee's saying play on. Looks like, and it's knock on, going to be scrum down to Tasmania.
And they get another bite to the cherry.
Yeah. So still 17-7 to South Australia. Tasmania still in it, but they need to try and keep on hold of this possession. There's the whole of the South Australia half is empty at the moment. If Tasmania can get the ball and kick a big kick deep down, they could gain a lot of advantage here. Free kick to Tasmania. Tasmania's a bit slow to react.
I can't see from here whether that's inside the 22 or not, but
It's round about the 22-metre line, Sean. So Tasmania very slow to react there, though. So and no needs to have support. We've got a penalty. I don't know whether they rolled away there or whether they didn't release the tackler. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
they might use this to piggyback themselves out. No, they don't. They decide they're going to tap and go.
And they're getting another shot at it, so they're tapping and going, but it's big Josh Tonga is making a big run for it. He needs to get the ball back though. He needs to present the ball, and someone's just, oh dear. No, it's a knock on, and Tasmania is going to have the put in. Yeah, so conditions very difficult now. Strong wind, strong rain. Not easy for anyone out there. Hopefully the viewers can see this. I'm not sure what the visibility is like on the screen at the moment. So we've probably got about 15 minutes to go, I think. Only 10 points at difference at the moment. I think South Australia is just pushing that scrum.
I can tell you it is freezing. We're on the sideline. We are under a cover. We're quite fortunate to be under the cover, and it is very cold. So I can only imagine how cold the spectators and the boys are out there at the moment.
Yeah. And there's they've got to reset the scrum again. So again, everyone's getting cold. You can see all the players trying to shake their hands and legs, trying to keep warm.
Might have said it earlier, but they're expecting snow down to from either 100 metres or even down to sea level down here in Hobart over this weekend. So we'll see how we go with the cold.
We've just got the ball and Tasmania have it. Oh dear, we've a knock on. Unfortunate. It was difficult to hold, a slippy ball.
Go SA. Big scrum.
Okay, I think Tasmania thought that was a penalty against them. They're running back there, but it's actually scrum down. South Australia ball. So Aaron Varghese coming off.
Let's go, Jack. Get involved, buddy. Get your hand to the ball. Neither can I. You'll be right. Catch it with your chest.
Okay, South Australia just won the scrum. Got the ball out, they're coming out.
Go, Maka.
Great
Go
tackle.
over him. Someone pick it up. Someone pick it up. Bring it in. Well done, Michael.
Get over him.
Good, he's got it.
Oh dear, I think, was that a sling tackle?
Again, sling tackle. They need to just get nice and low on their tackles and make some...
South Australia wisely again
some
took a very
safe
quick
tackles
tap and caught Tasmania unawares.
Yeah, great try.
Unfortunately, for Tasmania.
And they used that width pretty well, which was good. That's one of the things we were talking about, using that space. So, getting that ball out wide, maybe not always necessarily using their hands out there, but actually finding that space, whether they run to it or whether they move the ball to it. But, with a wide field, they really need to use that space, and they'll definitely find holes.
You're right, absolutely right, Sean. That's what we think Tasmania should be trying to do. They've not had the opportunity to get the ball out at the moment, but South Australia, certainly they're more quick-witted when it comes to penalties and free kicks, taking them quickly, and they're getting the ball out wide, and Tasmania's unfortunately a bit slow to react. I just remind the viewers back home, we've got another match tomorrow for the under-14, so whatever happens here, both teams have got another go at it. Weather could be even worse tomorrow from the sounds of it, but let's hope it's going to clear up. Anyway, here we have, almost in the touchline, we have a kick conversion attempt by South Australia. This is not an easy kick.
Keep going, SA.
Now, he struck it well enough. I think it's almost far enough. That was very close. Great attempt.
22 points to 7 is the score currently. Obviously not being successful with that kick.
So 15 points behind. Looks like it's going to be 3 scores.
Back just a little bit, guys.
I think if Tassie was smart, they'll kick it nice and deep and try and close down that space and pin South Australia down on their half. South Australia have been really good at running that ball back, and that last kickoff, they really made good meters. We'll see how they go this time.
Yeah, it was a good kick down to the right. South Australia's picked it up well, and he's dodged a few of the players, and he's run back well with the ball. So South Australia still have possession over on the far touchline there. Great tackle in the middle of the field there.
Slide left!
Up hard.
We need another good tackle here. They're holding them.
Look at where they are!
South Australia still have possession. Got the ball back. Oh, and they slowed them down. That's better tackling now by Tasmania. No, I think Tasmanian fell on top of it there. Penalty.
South Australia found some good space in this half. They definitely, you can see they spread out a lot more, and their attacks definitely a bit wider off the ruck. And Tassie are still very clumped. You can almost throw a blanket over them around those edges.
Yeah. So a big number 3 from South Australia, he made about 20, 30 metres there. But he eventually dragged down. So that's on number 5 again. And I don't know if we've got anyone fast enough to catch him. Unfortunately, once again, Tasmania missing tackles. And they've got to take those guys. A big guy like that who can run really fast has to be taken early. And if you give him a bit of space like he just showed, very difficult to stop. So great try there by South Australia.
So I think that brings the score to 27 points to 7 with the kick to come. This one's obviously a bit easier. There's no easy kicks in rugby, as we know. Even the best can miss them, but a lot easier this kick. And the way he struck the last few, I think he'll probably nudge it, and he does. He nudges it over. Takes us out to, 29-7.
Well, it's going to be almost impossible for Tasmania to come back in this game. I think there's only 5 or 10 minutes to go. Does anyone know how long there is to go? Okay, so it'd be nice for Tasmania to try and get some scores here. They're not going. It doesn't look like they're going to get close enough to win here. But if they can at least get a couple of tries, get some pride back, and set themselves up tomorrow for a good return match. So we've got the restart now. He's going to try and kick it deep. And slippy ball, but the scrum half, he's taken the ball really well, and a great. He dodged the tackles really well there. I think Tasmania's won the ball back. Great run by Tasmania. South Australia's tackling is excellent though.
Again, a good counter ruck coming. Well, South Australia, they have really worked hard on that counter ruck, I think, and that's been a good strength of their game. Tassie are still on the attack now.
We need to get the ball out, guys. Tasmania still winning the ball. We need to get the back line ready. The back line's getting pulled into the scrum there. Breakdown. I think the ball went backwards, so it's still Tasmanian ball. And they need to try and get this ball out. I think it's advantage to Tasmania. Whoa, my goodness, that was a big hit. Somehow Tasmania held on to the ball there. I think it's a penalty to Tasmania. Didn't actually see what happened there. It's very difficult. Visibility is not good here. Not sure what your vision is like at home here. Whether the camera's zooming in, whether you can actually see better than we can from the sideline. But anyway, we're going to try and take a quick one here, and I think that's big Josh Tonga running, but no one's with him. They need to be with him.
Much better width out here now. I think that might have been offside by South Australia. So
Yeah, South
Tassie,
Australia were up very quick, as you said there, Sean. In fact, too quick.
they're putting some phases together, but again, they very one off the ruck around the edges.
A bit of a driving maul here. So Tasmania have made some good ground here. We're almost up to the 5 metre line. And they're still driving Tasmania. Almost the whole team's in. South Australia is just trying to put a bit of pressure back on. We need to get the ball back. Oh, and it's a penalty to Tasmania. We need to take a quick one. Tasmania is still driving. That was a high tackle, I think, there. But we're almost on the goal line. I think, is that a try? Looks like a try, Sean.
Just trying to work out whether there's a penalty or try. I think it might be a penalty against Tassie for holding onto the ball and not releasing.
Right.
And again, that's been a strength for South Australia. They've been really quick over that ball. And unfortunately, Tassie not getting numbers to the breakdown quick enough to prevent that turnover.
Yeah, so Tasmania had all that possession they just gained, and they've just lost it. So South Australia kicked out there, still there put in. And it's going to be South Australia line out on the 22-metre line. Looks like the rain's just stopped. That's good news. The wind's died a bit. Looks like it wasn't straight. So it's going to be possession to Tasmania. They're going for a scrum. It's going to be a scrum on the 22-metre line. What can Tasmania do now?
I think it's really important they get nice and low at that scrum time. You know, if you look at those last few scrums, South Australia obviously got some bigger bodies in there, but Tas in particular, they look quite high in their scrum, and I reckon they need to probably just drop their body weight a little bit and get lower and try and keep some stability.
Sounds like a good advice, Sean. I think you'll be talking to the coach later. Okay, Tasmanian put in. Can we win the ball? Oh dear.
Much better scrum by Tasmania. South Australia, not sure if they were ready for that shove, so we'll see how this one goes. Again, they can only go, a metre and a half, so we'll see what the shove's like, and then the backs still look quite tight out the back here with Tassie. I'm not too sure what the idea is with attack. They potentially might come on this blind side.
Yeah, they're standing very flat, as you said, Sean. Oh, no, I think he's knocked it on. Tasmanian knocked it on, so it's going to be a scrum down again, but this time it's South Australia put in. I think it's quite frustrating for a lot of players out there. They want to get some running in, and it's quite a few scrums now. Must only be about 5 minutes to play, and it's 29-7. 22 points to try and catch up. It's not going to happen.
The rain has stopped, and I think with the scoreline, it might be a good opportunity for South Australia to attack this, and they do. They go down the blind side, the number 5 again. Bit of a high
I don't know if
tackle
he's
there.
gone a bit high.
He's a devastating runner, this youngster.
Yeah.
Nice ball out the back, kicks across field. They've got some chasers going there. It's a bounce of the ball.
And it looks like it's gone to South Australia. They're having the run of play at the moment. And a nice run up the far touch there. I think South Australia's just won the ball again in that breakdown. Yeah, so they're spreading the ball out wide here. And they've done a really good job at going from left to right. And that's Tasmania can learn from that. And number 14's taking the ball really well. He's not been tackled well, though. He's still on his feet, the South Australian boy.
Well done, Phoenix.
Looks like a counter ruck by Tassie, but hands in the ruck. Counter ruck by Tassie and hands in the ruck to try and keep that ball back. It's a turnover and a penalty for Tas. But I'm sure we'll kick it out and go for the line outs.
They have to do something fairly quickly because there's not much time to play here. So he managed to put the ball out, and it is going to be a line out to Tasmania, roughly on the 10-metre line inside their own half.
Good option on the sit back. Well done.
Yeah, nice, Matt.
Tasmania have to take this as soon as possible. There can't be long to play. They want to try and get some points back.
There won't be too much left for this game. I can see the under-16s warming up behind us. I think their kickoff's around about 6:30, so there's probably only about 3 or 4 minutes left in this game at the moment. And South Australia have got a good run down this right-hand side. They've got 2 big youngsters, number 3 and number 5, who are really dominating on their attack.
I think they just... I thought they put him into touch there. No. Yeah, the flag was up. The referee's playing on, I think. Still South Australia ball. Oh, got it. Tasmania somehow regained it, but I think they knocked it on there. Unfortunately, Tasmania knocked it on, so and that's the final whistle. So the final score is 29 to South Australia, 7 points to Tasmania. Well, Sean, what do you think of that game?
I think, with the conditions that we had, terrible conditions here, and obviously the handling wasn't too great, but I think it, puts us in good step for the rest of the weekend. We've got a few more games to come. You've got the under-16s tonight, 14s and 16s and 18s tomorrow, and again the under-18s play on Sunday. Obviously a lot of running rugby, which is great to see, and I think that's really exciting. Big keys, I think, takeaway from this game are probably making sure that you get nice and low in your tackles and make those one-on-one tackles. South Australia look really, really good at the breakdown, and they definitely look really good at their scrum time. So it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the teams are like over the weekend.
Sure, Sean. Thank you.